Welcome everyone to this podcast. We are C talking. I am Isabela Zuniga, and today we are going to talk about confidence and identity in student life. This is a very important chapter of this podcast because we are with a special guest. He's Sebastian Quintero, an expert of psychology. He has a degree in psychology, and he's going to help us to understand this topic better. So, Quintero, tell us about yourself.
Hi, first thank you for the invitation and having the opportunity on being here. I am a psychologist for the University of Kentucky and I have a degree of main understanding. I also am a person that is very kind with people. I know all the different situations that people can have, and also I'm really kind with kids.
Quintero, for accepting our invitation. Now, it's important to understand what we're going to talk about today. For example, the terms that we're going to use. Terms like self esteem, identity, self confidence. So, what's self esteem?
Okay, self esteem first is a person's overall feeling of self worth and confidence in their own abilities and value. Also, it's how, for example, it's how you feel about yourself and your place in the world, a healthy sense of self esteem involving liking yourself, feeling good about your abilities, and believing you are worthy.
Thank you, that's a very specific explanation. Now that we know what it is, which factors can affect it? I already know that the opinion of the people around us can affect us. For example, a supportive and positive relationship can boost self confidence and self esteem, while negative or critical interactions can damage it. Can you give us other examples?
Well, self esteem is divided in positive influence and negative influence. For example, one positive is self compasing, that's treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when facing challenges, is crucial for building self esteem. Also, success and achievements. It's experience successful in various areas of your life, academical, professional, or personal, and in the other hand the negative influence, the bullying, it's pretty common, the bullying and abuse. Also negative self-talk, for example, internalizing negative thoughts and judgments about yourself can have a determinant effect on your self-esteem.
Yes, this factor really affect each person's self esteem and shape their identity. For example, I went to a private school and I have a very low confidence. Is there a relationship between the school and self esteem, or there isn't? Because I didn't participate a lot during classes, and I think they could be related. But what do you think?
Well, that's a really hard question because it doesn't depend if it is a private or a public school, because the main things that could affect it's like the projects or the main characteristics that can influence the self-esteem. For example, if a public school has different projects to improve self-esteem in students, the students will have a really good self-esteem. But it doesn't matter that it's a worse self-esteem because it's a public school. But the things that by different research, different investigations, the majority of students said that the private school slightly improve the self-esteem by different projects, by different activities that can improve the self-esteem in students.
I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. I thought that being in a private school could affect more and shape their identity and self-esteem in a negative way, because they talk that the higher expectations that are put in each student are really damaging their self-esteem. For example, as I said, I went to a private school, and the expectations were really high. Everyone seems so sure about themselves, and they always seem to have the right answer. They were in every club, every event, and that kind of thing, that kind of classmates can really affect each person's confidence. Also, I really struggled with participation because when teacher said, "Someone come to the board, do you have to say something? Do you want to answer the question?" I didn't know what to do, and I got really scared. So I really thought that could affect very much. But yeah, that's true. Every school can be really different without taking into account if it is a public or a private school.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. It not only depends in a public school or a private school, it depends on which methods a school can use to improve the self-esteem in the students. But one thing that you told before that catch my attention was that you said that you don't have enough self-esteem. But the thing is that having a podcast right now, being in a podcast, is like a really good self esteem to do the podcast, right? You have a really good self esteem because you have the podcast, you talk different topics and you can present these topics, for example, to the school, to different people. Like, I have one question, like, how's having a podcast and which methods do you use to improve your self esteem?
Yeah, that's right. Is one of the methods that I do to improve my confidence is exactly this podcast. This really helped me to talk more and improve my confidence. Another one is talking more to new people. For example, if you see someone eating alone, um, or you go to a hairstyler, you can talk to them, you can express yourself more, and this will help a lot. Another method very useful is to stop comparing yourself with other people. As I said, I used to compare myself with all my classmates and comparing our grades. But I started to think about myself in a better way, stop comparing me, setting small and achievable goals. For example, if I am not good in social studies, I can set a goal for having a good grade but not the best. And this is a very helpful advice that also the listeners could take.
Whoa, that's really good. Like that methods, it's a really good example of how improve a self-esteem. Like the only thing that I could say to you is like congratulations, you're a really good person that it's improving constantly your self-esteem.
Now that we're reaching to the end of this chapter, it's important to say that to flow with the current. Don't be really harsh with yourself. Also, learning isn't just about gaining knowledge. It's about becoming better each time and help improving your self-esteem, your confidence, improving each skill that you have. Identity is something important about each person, and we should try to be ourselves all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Learning is not also learning stuff, learning in an academic way, learning information. I think the learning is more like in a general way. It's an universal concept that talks about the learning is like the process of knowing, of discovering different aspects that can be interesting for you. One is can be information in an academic way, and the second one is the thing that you said before, that it's learning about yourself, learning about your identity, about your culture, and it's a really good thing to aim because people are losing their identity right now nowadays, and we need to stay close about our culture, learn about ourselves, and be ourselves. We need to be what we are.
Thank you, Mr. Quintero, for being on today's chapter. I hope that it was a good experience for you. And a special thanks for all the listeners of this podcast. I hope you continue listening to C Talking. And see you soon. Have a good day. Or should I say, hear you soon? Or hear me soon? Well, have a good day.